Yeah, we could wait for 2 minutes, no
Yeah,
problem.
please. I guess they are joining. There's a good number. Children are interested actually. Nice to see you, ma'am. Happy to note you're the
Thank,
inspiration. You're going to be the inspiration for so many of Unicentians.
thank you so much. And I'm just a student. I'm only in 13. See, I'm just 8. I mean, I'm in 8th grade only, so you could call
Okay.
me as Hasini. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
sure.
comfortable like that. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Very good morning, Hasini.
Thanks for you.
Good morning
Good
to
morning.
everybody.
Yeah.
This is Nagalakshmi from Unicent School. We are very, very delighted to welcome you, dear.
Thank you, thank you. Happy to be here as well.
Hmm.
Really, that's a very nice opportunity for our children to know you and listen from you.
Thank you.
I am
And
waiting for so many children to join so that I
Yes,
can
that's
just give
what
a brief
Nagalakshmi ma'am.
introduction of
Hi,
yours too.
this is
okay.
Swachla ma'am, Hasini ma'am. Okay.
You could just
I'm not
address me
teasing
as
you.
Hasini,
I'm
I
not at all
mentioned,
teasing
right?
you. Okay. So
I'm
lovely
fine
to
as
see you.
Hasini. I'm only like in 8th grade, so why do you have to
Oh,
address me as ma'am and stuff? So I'm comfortable as
someday
Hasini.
in future you're going to be addressed as ma'am, right?
But that's fine, we
That's
have some more
fine,
time for
Hasini.
that.
So lovely to hear from you like that. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, they are joining. This number is
Yeah,
increasing. Just few more
okay.
minutes as I got the message. Okay, 2-3
Sure.
minutes, and then
Sure.
sure we will start. What do you say,
Okay, ma'am.
Nagalakshmi ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are
Yeah.
waiting.
Do we have Shrija and Apurva ma'am with us?
Yes, they will be joining, ma'am. We have given a message. Let's see.
Srinidhi, are you here, Srinidhi?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
So as said, there are about 27 people here, right? So could you just put your names in this chat? I'm asking the students if you could tell me along with your grade, because see, I am Hasini. I am from Chettinad Vidyashram, which is in Chennai. I am an 8th grader and I'm 13 years old. So you could probably put it in the chat so that I would also know who you are as. Hmm. Hi, Lakshita. Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
You could just call me as Hasini, please.
Okay,
That is better. I'm just 13 years old.
Hasini.
Hello. Cute.
Yeah. Shall we start? It's better.
Yeah, okay. And we are
Shall-
also live on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, hello to everybody who's watching the live, as well
I
as
would
to all
like
this.
to interrupt here,
Sure,
Hasini.
sure, sure,
I
sure.
just wanted to give a little introduction of yours too to our
Please.
kids.
Thank
Children, she is Hasini Lakshmi Narayan, and she is 13 years old. She's studying in 8th standard, I guess. You are
yeah.
going into 8th standard now. And there are a lot of things which she does, and it's really great actually to introduce you. She's the founder of First Step, and she's the first, the speaker. Yes, am I right, Hasini?
Yeah. I'm also a
And
TEDx
she's the
speaker as well.
reporter. Yeah, she's the reporter for the Hindu school. She writes articles every week, and also she writes article for Brain Feed also. Yes, you would be delighted to know she is a video jockey for what is that, ma?
Avatar Live and Naval Glitch YouTube channel.
Okay, I am unable to pronounce it.
But that's fine, yeah.
So she is also the video jockey, and she also speaks for TED Talk. You might be knowing TED Talks. Yeah, many people speak over there on stage, giving some inspiring words. So she is one of them. We welcome you with a huge round of applause.
Thank you so much for the great introduction. It was
Yes.
lovely.
Hmm.
So I
So
think you are
now,
ready for Take me now.
Yeah, I am. I am.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in, being it a Sunday. So, welcome to all the people watching live as well. This is Hasini. This is me, Hasini, and so I begin. See, I love listening to stories, and when I was young, I just used to go ask my mom. I asked her if you could tell me a story so that I could sleep. But one more thing, as I grew up, one more thing which I would like to do is tell stories to other people. So I would like to start off by saying a small story. But before that, one more very important thing. We all have rules to attend online classes, right? Don't worry, I don't have so much rules, but just one single rule, which is whenever there's going to be a question, I request everybody to put it in the chat box so that I could see it. And this is for the people who are in the Zoom. But if you're watching it live on YouTube, you can put it in the Premiere chat. Okay, cool. So now I begin. Of course, I said that I am here to tell a story. Before that, let me just present my screen. I hope you're able to see it. Anyone, could you tell me? Anybody, could you tell me if you could see it so that I could move on?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can see.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And now, so as I said, I'm going to tell a story to all you. So yeah, let's all assume that there are 5 frogs sitting on a lily pad. Okay, and one of them decides to jump off from the lily pad into the pond. Did you hear me right? Could you tell me how many frogs? Yes, 5 frogs are sitting on a lily pad, and one of them decides to jump off from the lily pad into the pond. So now my question is, tell me how many of the frogs are still sitting on the lily pad?
4.
Yes, 4. That's right. See, one more thing is, you know, when a maths teacher is going to ask you this question, it's obvious that it's going to be 4, right? Because 5 frogs are sitting. If one jumps out, 5 minus 4, it's going to be 5 minus 1, which is going to be 4. Pardon me, 5 minus 1, it's going to be 4. That's absolutely right. But in this case, if your maths teacher is going to be here, and if you're going to answer the right answer, she's going to give you full marks. If not, you're going to get a 0, right? But here, even if you're going to be right or wrong, you are going to get full marks by getting an appreciation. See, after all, I believe that greatest failure in life is not participating 100%. Okay, because just give it a try, and it does not matter if you're going to be right or wrong in this session. And just 1 second, because I'm not able to see anything from here. I just want to see what is going on in the meet as well. Yeah, better. So now, everybody, I could see some replying 5, 4. It's going on. So I request you to repeat after me before I tell what the actual answer is. Greatest failure in life is not participating 100%. Could you repeat after me? Greatest failure
Greatest failure
in
Failure
life is
not
not
life
participating.
is not participating 100%.
100%. Yes, that's absolutely right. So this is a quote which I strongly believe in. Coming back to the question which I was telling about, and you might be wondering what the answer is. The answer is that there are still 5 frogs sitting on the lily pad, and you might be wondering, how is that even possible, right? I could hear you. You see from us. Yeah, let me tell you why is it. The frog only decides to jump off from the lily pad. See, everybody decides to do something, but Do we actually do it? I too decided to complete my homeworks yesterday night, but did I complete it? No, I didn't. So the frog only decides to jump off from the lily pad, but it didn't. So there are still 5 frogs sitting on the lily pad. Remember, life is a journey, and it begins not when you decide to do something, but when you actually take an initiative to move forward. And this journey of life begins by taking that single step and not by thinking to take that step. So I would like to start off with this simple story, which has a very big meaning to it, which means a lot to me as well. So let me give a quick introduction. This is me, Hasini Lakshminarayanan. Hi, everybody. I am the founder, CEO of The First Step, an 8th grader studying in Chettinad Vidyashram, Chennai. And I am also a reporter for Brainfeed High Magazine and Hindu School Edition, and VJ for Avatar Live and Glitz. And The First Step in also association with the CIT, Chennai Institute of Technology, which is the number 2 engineering college in Tamil Nadu. As well as I request everybody to subscribe before I move in further, because that would really help a lot as well. So I'll wait for 2 seconds for you to take your time. YouTube, The First Step, if you type Hasini, and then you'll get it if you could do it. And please. Yeah, I hope you've done it, and if you have done, thank you so much. If you have not, request you to do it right now, because you would find more content on it, which is going to be helpful for you as well, I think so. And moving on further, this pandemic collectively changed all our lives at some extent, right? I too started taking it as a new holiday, started enjoying. And but at some point, I too realized that, you know, I have so much time. I have to do something with it. I have to utilize my time. And that is when my dad approached. He told me that, he asked me if I could interview children for Father's Day, and then send these videos to their fathers to surprise them on Father's Day. So this was a plan. I agreed and went ahead and did it. So I started interviewing a few of my friends. Then I started creating and documenting videos, sent it to their fathers to surprise them on Father's Day. And then I interviewed a few of my friends. Then I realized that I feel some kind of unique happiness. I just want to keep continuing doing this. I want to interview people. So I have always had a dream of doing this, that is to inspire children. So I'll tell the story later on in the seminar. But then this is how it was born, my YouTube channel, The First Step. People say, right, it just takes a small spark to ignite the fire. And so did my interactions with Dr. Nirmala Krishnan, my dad's good friend. Her advice really propelled me in initiating my very own startup, and she has relentlessly supported me since day one. And she is also a formal principal, so she supported me since day one, and I consider her as my mentor and would like to thank her as well. So now I would like to share few lines which she shared with me about the first step. The first step. The first step is about your first dream. The first step is about believing in yourself. The first step is about accepting your first compliment with grace. The first step is about attracting positive energies from the cosmos. The first step is about encouraging others with your stories. So this is the story on how the First Step YouTube channel was born, and this is the mantra of the First Step. And another source of inspiration for me is Mr. Sujit Kumar Sir, the founder of Martram Foundation. His aura, his presence on the stage, and his choice of words really helped me nourishing the way I carry myself. And this has resulted in me being appreciated by all my listeners and viewers from across the world. And he's my very first inspiration, and I would like to share that incident. One day, when I was in like 4th grade, I believe, I went to an event along with my dad where he was a speaker, and the chief guest was Sujit Kumar sir. So every child, whenever you go to an award ceremony or a seminar, what would you do? You would be there for a few minutes and then you start roaming around, right? I was such a kind of person as well, but then I used to never sit in one place, mainly when someone is talking. That day, suddenly I was asked to do a pegging, which is called a memory demo. You could take it as like that. I was trained up quickly. I was just waiting there just to present my pegging, which is a, as I said, memory demo. I was waiting. Then Sujit sir was giving his speech. I used to be very active. I used to be like roaming around always, and suddenly I started listening to every single word of his speech. That was me very first time listening to someone very carefully. And that is how inspirational his talk was. It was so much inspirational. And that day I went back to my dad saying that I want to become like him one day, someone who can inspire children. I started, taking it as my motto. I want to inspire children. So, I mean, my dad said for someone to be an inspiration, public speaking and listening is very important. So I started taking this to heart, started focusing on the same. Whenever there's an literary competition held in my school, I just used to go and enroll my name, even without asking my parents, because that is how much passionate I was on public speaking. And then my parents itself realized that, she might excel in public speaking. And that is when I started, exploring for more and more opportunities. So this is my story, and my motto, as I said, is to inspire more and more children. Moving on, when you take that leap towards making your dream a reality, you experience a different kind of happiness, a sense of accomplishment or fulfillment. And that is when you soon realize that this happiness was your own creation and no one else is responsible for it but yourself. You are the master of your own destiny. Whenever you do something which you like, you will feel some sort of happiness, right? Which will empower everything in you. So I did feel when I started interviewing children. So I started continuing it, and that is how my YouTube channel was born, as I said before. And as I'm taking baby steps towards my goal, I fully realize that setbacks will be there, and how I respond to these setbacks, they are going to determine how my future endeavors shape up. And I am learning from every experience today, and I full well know that if I'm going to keep up with this, I will be there as a successful leader one day. Excuse me, pardon me, just one. Yeah, I'm sorry for the disturbance. Let me continue. And this happens in life, okay? I'm just, excuse me. As I was saying, whenever a person is in their comfort zone, it would be easy for them to answer a question. But whenever they're confused, that is when they start learning. If I'm going to ask you, what is 7 plus 3? Obvious, 10. If I'm going to ask you, what is 3 plus 4? 7, obviously, right? But if I'm going to ask you, what is 13,572 multiplied by 15,000, some 5-digit number, 15,232, you're going to be confused. It takes time for you to answer, right? I mean, not as the question which I asked in the early beginning, but as I said, that is when you confuse, that is when you're going to learn something. So whenever I'm going to ask a question here, if you confuse and if you don't know what to answer, just you could happily say that I am confused and I'm going to learn something today. So I always say there are no failures, only feedbacks. Okay, so I don't take it as a failure, I take it as a new learning, and I make sure that I don't do it the next time. So this is something I've been following for so long right now, and I again request all of you to repeat, but on your on your mics muted, and you could have your videos on probably. Okay, I request you to do that, because then my ears is going to go for a task. And being students and teachers, you might probably know that what happens when everybody is going to unmute their mic. So I just request you to have your mic muted and just your video on, and repeat after me with actions. Okay? There are no failures, only feedbacks.
There are no failures, only feedback.
Yeah, that's good. Great. So I again move on. See, my success did not come without its fair share of struggles. And one such instance was when I did my very first shoot for Avatar Life. I was comfortable doing my interviews on online mode as it was a pandemic, but then I also understand the dynamics of social media and what people had expected from me, and I started behaving accordingly. But this particular time, I had like two cameramen sitting in front of us and a director. They started watching me carefully, and this all of a sudden made me very conscious. The entire shooting room was quiet, and I was completely blanked out, and I just was frozen stuck. And the most embarrassing was when the young achiever, that is the person whom I was interviewing, started helping me out on how to question her. This was one of the big challenges which I will have to overcome, and I had overcome it by now. So one challenge. Second one is a boon and a bane is the advent of social media. Even though a lot of people appreciated the work I did, there were also a few who disagreed. Every social media I'm not saying every, but most of them would have received negative comments. I'm talking about social media influencers, YouTubers. Most of them would have at some point would have received negative comments. I too did. And that is when I started learning how to overcome this constructive criticism and just ignore the rest, and I kept focusing on my efforts. So that is my second challenge which I had to face. Third is the which in my life had happened. When I started this endeavor, I used to hear people say, let me see how long she'll be able to continue this. As my earlier undertaking with Bhajan and Bharatanatyam did not go well. See, I'll tell you, now it's funny for me, but back then it wasn't. I was enrolled in a lot of classes: Bharatanatyam, Bhajan, music, arts, public speaking, so and so. I was like enrolled in a lot of classes. I used to be, coming from school, go to class, this class, that class, coming back home, sleep, morning, school again. It continues like that. But then at some point I too realized that no, I'm not interested in this, I'm not interested in this. I would go for a class, I would attend it for maximum 3 to 4 months, and then I just unenroll that class. So that is how it was happening. So initially when I started YouTube, people also thought that I wouldn't be able to continue this, and as my earlier undertaking with Bhajan and Bharatanatyam did not go well, I couldn't pursue it further. So people had the precedence, but then I decided, instead of justifying what people had to say about me, let me show it with my actions. After all, I believe that action speaks louder than words, right? Fighting with your inmost souls is just like crossing the 7 seas in a row. But once it's crossed, you will feel liberated. My acronym, which I would like to call FARCRAF, which is also a palindrome. And if you're wondering what a palindrome is, even if you're going to spell this word, that is FARCRAF, it is going to sound the same. So that is what a palindrome is. So starting off, F, which stands for facing criticism, and these are the 7 big challenges which I think every child startup would face. F, which stands for facing criticism. Now, this comes with fame. My friends who initially missed me due to my interview schedules have now understood the work I do and have started supporting me. See, initially everybody would be criticized, my own friends. See, being it a Sunday, what would a child do? They might probably go spend time with their family, friends, go play out, right? But me, see, last Sunday I gave my TED talk. Now I'm doing a session. Next Sunday I have an mentorship program. So this is how it works with me. So my friends started criticizing me, but then at some point they too realized that this is the work I do, and they've started supporting me. So the thoughts initially would be there, but then keep focusing on your efforts and people would start supporting you. That is what I would like to say on this thought. A, which stands for acceptance. Young achievers, on my case, were hesitant to accept my invitation as they have already been on big popular TV shows. They have been hosted by popular co-stars, and at initially they were hesitant to accept our invitation. But then today, 90% of them have accepted my invitation once they read my profile that I am also a reporter for two leading magazines today. So again, I would say just keep focusing on your efforts and keep what you're doing. Reaching out to new subscribers, being a YouTuber in this case, it is very important. You could also have it as followers or reaching out to new people as well. So this is an ongoing process. Just ensure that you keep your audience engaged. That's what I would like to say. Continuing the motivation. This is something which every child startup should follow. See, being a YouTuber, before I was into the field, I thought that getting new subscribers, views is just a piece of cake for everybody. Why do they have to put in so much effort? But then after being into the field, I realized that it is not very easy for someone to grow. To get new subscribers, it depends on all the hard work you put in, all the effort which you take, all the challenges you face, and how you handle your challenges. It is a vast topic, and it just takes a lot of time. And I had like high expectations that my very first video which I'm going to post is going to reach up to 100K views, but obviously it was the other way around. But then we all will have to agree with the fact that we continue to grow until we continue to work, and the only way is to sustain our motivation for every single video. I hope you heard me as the other video was there, but then I repeat, the only way is to sustain our motivation for every single video. R, the next letter, which stands for reviling the stress. Everybody will have to face this, personally me at least, because being a child, my source of entertainment is laptop, playing with friends, spending time with family. But then at some point I do realize that this is more important, and I kept reminding myself about my mission of inspiring and empowering children, and also about the other stories of the other young achievers, which is so much inspirational. So again, I move on. A, which stands for age barrier. This is one of the most common challenges faced by any child startup, as they are only being under 18. So people might criticize you as well, and I personally had to face this when I had to be a reporter for Brain Feed and Hindi. The initial thoughts were that I was only 12 years old back then, a year ago, but now I'm 13. So initial thoughts were that I was only 12, but then people who said that have taken back what they said once they read my articles, that which is, yeah, thoughts are that I'm only 12, I wouldn't be able to do all of this, I'm too young for this position. But then they have taken back what they said once they read my articles. Last word, which stands for financial challenges. Every child's, like literally every child's initial financial backup is their parents. Until they find their own sponsors and until they get their fundings, they will have to use the available resources and make content out of it. And that is what I've been doing for the past 1 year or sometime, yeah, quite time. So I also have a survey data which was done by me for my talk. So a lot of people responded that the biggest challenges which they had to overcome was management, says 50%. Criticism was 29%. Financial challenges was 14%, and others was 7%. So you could also see that as well in here. Someone had asked for my age. Okay, if my voice is breaking, just put it in the chat so that I would know. And my age, I'm currently 13 years old. So moving on. These are the, as I mentioned, 7 big challenges, and there's also a survey done on it, and we found out this data as well. And during this course of the journey of the first step, I had privilege interacting with some extraordinary children who most were of my age. I were to learn I were to learn about their struggles, their perseverance, how they never gave up, and one of the most common things in all of them, which were they were the masters of their own destiny. They manufactured their own happiness and went ahead and did it. And I mean, you could find all of the videos of these children on my YouTube page, so you could check it out if you wanted to. So, I would like to include and talk about few of them in here, whom I find are my biggest source of inspirations. Starting with Vinusha, she is a young baker, and she's also an entrepreneur who has her own baking kit. Being only 10 years old, she's got funding at this very early age. Kritik, who's the founder, CEO of the Future of Robotics. He being only 15 years old, he can train children on robotics, and he's also an entrepreneur as well. Kaushal Raj, who's the owner of the Milet app, he's also an entrepreneur himself. Vinusha, Vinisha Uma Shankar, who's the inventor of the solar ironing cart. I think you would have definitely known it because it's very popular right now. The solar ironing cart. She's the inventor of it. Being only 14 years old, being from a very small town, Tiruvannamalai. And not only this, but she also has 2 other inventions behind her back. Chef Yashwant Kumar, who is the very first Indian to bag 4 medals in the Culinary Olympics, which was held in Germany in 2020. Siddharth Pillai, who is the youngest data scientist in Asia, he goes for work at this very early age of 13, and he's being paid as well. He goes for work for 3 days and he goes for school for the other 3 days alternatively. Isn't that amazing? I mean, he's a very great kid. Advait, who's only 7 years old, he is a young artist, very cute, and his paintings are literally sold in lakhs today. Just imagine. And he's done exhibitions worldwide, including USA, Canada, and many other countries as well. So, all of these children had a set goal and they have planned their strategies. And I too think that little I've achieved is because I had a set goal. Today I am prepared and I have planned my strategies. And now I would like to share a survey which was done way back in 1956. Did you hear me right? 1956. Do any of you here know the Ailes University? Ailes University. Okay, let me tell you, it was one of the popular universities. Yep. So this survey, which it was done in Ailes University. So the researchers surveyed on how many of the children studying in the Ailes University had written goals. I hope you heard me. Yes. And they found out the shocking results that only 3% of them, only 3% of them had written goals out of the 100. And 20 years later, they went back to the same people who had, they went back to the same people and found out that the 3% of the people who had written goals, they had accumulated 3 times more wealth than the 97% combined. So this again only proves the fact that written goals and planning your strategies is very, very important. So, I always have a set goal. So I hope you do as well. And now, as I said, mentioning all of these children's name, at some point, I had interviewed about 20 plus children at that time, and I too realized that, listening to all of these young achievers, my mind started exploring to the outer world, and the options which I thought previously did not exist started becoming my reality. And now at this junction, I now request you to tell me who this person is on the screen. Any one of you? Please, could you tell me who this is?
Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely right. This is Sachin Tendulkar, and I don't know if you know, but Tendulkar, when he was young, lived at his aunt's house just for a single reason, that there was a cricket field nearby his aunt's house. And just imagine how clear he was at that very early age of 5, that he wanted to become a cricketer. And as you all may know, his dreams came true when he played for India at the age of 16. I request the respected person, whomever you are unmuted, just to mute. Okay, I carry on. Could you mute? The respected person. Yeah. So I continue. As you all may know, his dreams came true when he played for India at the age of 16, and when he made his first debut against Pakistan. And as you all may know, he is worldwide popularly known as the god of cricket today. Another famous personality on the screen, if you could tell me who this is, I'll give you a clue, okay? His name starts with a Bill, and he was one of the former presidents of America. Anybody?
Abraham Lincoln.
No, his name starts with a Bill.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
It
Bill
starts with Bill.
Clinton.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Whomever that is, an appreciation. Great. This is Bill Clinton. You're absolutely right. And if you were to read his autobiography, you might probably know that Clinton, when he was young, went to his school principal, said that he wanted to become the president of America one day. Back then they used to criticize people when they're going to say this, right? So let me tell you, if you were put into a situation where you were asked to go and tell your teacher that you want to become a president, what would their reaction be? Let me tell you, they will probably laugh at you and ask you, have you done your homework yet, right? Am I right? The same thing happened to Clinton as well. But the fact of matter is that not once but twice, Bill Clinton was the president of America. And as you all may know, for 2 consecutive terms, he was the president of America. Now, this is where people usually stop me and say, but these are all extraordinary children, they're genius, who had a set goal at a very young age, right? Now there is another picture. If you could tell me who this is, I'll give you a clue.
Jhansi Lakshmi.
She's a young YouTuber. No guesses? Okay, that's indeed me. Yes, it's indeed me. When I was like 5 years old. One sec. I'm so sorry for the disturbance. Yeah, I dressed up as Jhansi Rani for a school competition, and slowly I started giving more speeches and speeches. So this is how my life started, and yeah, so this was just for entertainment. So, but this is what I believe. As I said, every child. I request the respected person to mute.
Sarjan, please mute.
Yeah, I hope I could continue. Thank you so much for that. But this is what I believe. Every child is born with a genius quality, but unfortunately, only a few understand this. So now I would like to share about a few of my friends who are indeed genius, who had a child prodigies. You said you have a doubt, but just wait until I finish the talk, and then we can have the Q&A. Okay, please. So I would like to share about a few child prodigies, as I mentioned. Dr. Prisha, who's an honorary doctorate. She has got an honorary doctorate at the very early age of 9. Now people address her as Dr. Prisha, and she's the youngest yoga guru who can train visually challenged children. Marisha Karwa, who's from a very small town. She's popularly called as the Princess of Slum today. Ananya Rajaraman, who's the global child prodigy of 2020, and she has already published 2 books. And isn't that amazing? Now, do only child prodigies excel? I did a survey to find out on how many of the children whom I have interviewed are indeed child prodigies, and I found out the shocking results that only 38% of them, the red color box as you could see, they are the only number of child prodigies, and the rest have been recognized and have been identified by their parents and mentors. And also, while doing this survey, I found out that all of these children are being supported by their parents. So now my question to all the parents in here is that, do you spend valuable time finding out what your child's interest is? Have you ever taken an initiative to find out what your child's calling is? Or did you impose your interest to your child's life? I would like to leave it to you, and I carry on now. I believe in what our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, said. You have to dream before your dreams can come true. A dream is not something which you see while you're sleeping. It is something which does not let you sleep. And for children here, ask yourself what makes you happy. Write it down in a book and do this for at least 2 months. And at the end of 2 months, go through the book and see what you have repeated the most. And that is what most likely you are passionate about. And go talk to your family, your well-wishers, tell them that this is what you want to do, and take that leap towards making your dream a reality. This is a small tip which I would like to give, and follow it so that you could find what you are passionate about, something which I followed back then. So excuse me, yeah. And 10 months back, if someone had asked me this question, would you be able to do all of this? I would have definitely said no. But here I am standing out as the founder of the First Step, my very own startup, and also as the reporter for Brainfeed High Magazine and Hindu School Edition. I have published over 12 articles today, and I write every article a week. And now I would like to share few success principles, the term which I would like to use, which I think that it would be helpful for you as well in this course of journey. And I would have definitely said these quotes by the session, but would again like to repeat and mention the meaning of it. There are no failures, only feedbacks, right? So I would like to give an appropriate example. So could you tell me who Thomas Alva Edison is? Yes, any one of you?
Invented the bulb.
Scientist.
Yeah.
He's a scientist.
Inventor of bulb. Yes, that's right. Inventor of bulb. So did you know that he made 1,000+ unsuccessful inventions before inventing the bulb? And when the reporters asked him this question, he replied saying, I learned how not to invent a bulb 1,000+ times. See, you learn whenever you fail. Do not take it as a failure. Take it as a feedback. Take it as a new learning. And ensure that you don't do it the next time. And this is something which I've been following since I started. So I think it would be helpful for you as well. Choices have consequences. See, I'll give you a small example, okay? And this continues until you grow. If you're going to refuse to do your homework that particular day, you are the one who's going to be punished by your teacher the next morning, right? If you're going to refuse to study for your exams, you are the one not scoring good marks, right? And this continues until you grow old. And the consequence which you're going to face might be a good one or a bad one, but it depends on the choice which you make. So remember, choices have consequences. 1 second. past is not equal to future, and this is one of the important success principles actually. So do anyone of you know Rajinikanth, who is also known as superstar worldwide?
Yeah.
It is,
Yes.
of course. So did you know, I mean, I think everybody would have known that he was a bus conductor before he got into the field of acting, right? And why do you think
Yes.
it was? Because he started focusing on his efforts instead of thinking what had happened in his past. He started focusing on his future, on becoming his dream and
Your voice is
reality.
breaking.
Are you able to hear me right now?
We can hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So I request everyone to mute so that I could continue, and we are running short of time. So, as I said, instead of focusing on what had happened in his past, he started focusing on taking that initiative which is going to make his dream a reality. So, remember, past is not equal to your future. Okay. For things to change, I must change first, and this can be related to the pandemic situation as well. See, uh, for things to change, you must change first. Everybody says my mom is nagging me, but okay, I'll give you an appropriate example. If you want this COVID situation to end, then you are the one who's going to be responsible for it. You are going to be the one. If you're going to wear mask, if you're going to follow social distancing, then it would have end soon, right? If you're going to take vaccine, if you're going to follow the appropriate rules which has to be followed, then it would have stopped, but we didn't. So that is why it's continuing. So as I always say, for things to change, you must first change first. Moving on to the last success principle, which is greatest failure in life is not participating 100%. And I hope you remember that I mentioned this in the early beginning, because just don't do if your parents asked you to do it, or just don't be forced to do it. If you're going to do anything, put your 100% effort to it. Otherwise, just don't do it, because it's going to be of no use. Either it might be wrong or right. Put your 100% effort. My dad always says this, so I mean, it's one of my favorite quotes as well. So I'm here, about to sign off. So remember, the first step matters, either on the moon or on the earth. Taking that leap towards making your dream a reality is important, and take this towards your path of happiness. And this journey of mine would not stop until I reach to the stars which shine up, showing up light to many other children like me. And at last, I request everybody to go subscribe to the channel as well. You could find more new content on it and interviews of children too. And it just takes that spark for you as well. So this session might be your spark, or you might get inspired by any time. And make sure that you take that leap towards making your dream a reality on your path of happiness. And I hope that you too join me shining up as a star which shows up light to many other children. And I thank the school for the opportunity, and Rama ma'am and the teachers for the wonderful opportunity which they have given. And I had wonderful time interacting with all of you in here. This is me, Hasini Lakshmi Narayan, and signing off. Reporter of the Brainfeed High magazine and Hindu, founder of the First Step, Avatar Live and Our Glitz, anchor for Avatar Live and Our Glitz YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you so
Yes,
much. I'm done, and now we have the. Ayyo.
yes, Hasini madam.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
We have
What?
the Q&A session now, probably, I guess.
Yes, yes, you can carry on, ma'am. Like, just give us a break for, like, don't sign off immediately. We are there to,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are
yeah.
here to ask you. Yeah, children. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, anyone who has Q&A for me, go ahead.
Question.
Yes, children. Yes.
So, Hasini, how do you juggle time between your academics and what you're so passionate about?
Wonderful question. And could I know who's asking this? Because
This
I
is
definitely.
Srija.
Sorry,
Srija
can you
Krishnan.
come back again? Pardon me.
Srija Krishnan. Ma.
Okay, hi, Shrija. Wonderful question. So, I too had a big challenges of facing time being a kid. But then, as I said, I have a schedule planned that is so and so is about to happen today. And I make sure that as everyone have online classes, I don't plan my interview schedules on when my classes are going to happen. I plan it on one single day and finish all my interviews for the week. And I practice every day for my, public speaking skills and stuff. So I have a set goal and I have a to-do list. So if I'm going to be like, if yesterday I was like, I'm going to have a session today. So I'll prepare all my PPT, all my presentation, how I'm going to speak, my agenda, my flow and stuff. So, I have a to-do list. I am not going to schedule and plan everything for the day. Instead, I just write it down. And the end of the day, I just put a tick mark so that I cross-check if I've done it or not. So that is how I manage time. You got it, Shrija?
Thank you.
Great. So, anyone else? And one more thing. Could you check for the live if anyone has any questions? Yeah, anyone else who have questions for me?
Have you failed before doing this one?
Which one?
Before making the first step, have you failed in anything?
Yeah, of course I have. See, I mentioned, right? I was attending a lot of classes every single time. Just I used to attend it for maximum like 3 months or 4 months, and then I used to just stop going to the class as I was bored. I am like a child who's very curious. I like to step onto new things which I'm not even familiar about. See, I have failed a lot of time. It happens for everything. Everyone. I'm sorry. Everyone. Failures happen for everyone. Okay, but I don't like to address it as failure. I take it as a feedback. It is a new learning. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much, Priyadarshini. I like your speaking, and I think someone else to ask that I have a doubt. So I mean, in the middle of the session, is there any other question that you have for me?
Out of all the things that you do, what is your most favorite thing?
I'm sorry, your voice is very feeble. Can you say how you learn English? Okay, yeah, I have a mentor who's going to train me, and wonderful schools, where I from learn basic English knowledge from, and of course you have the web. I'm sorry, pardon me. Uh, of course you have the web, YouTube and stuff to learn a lot of things from. I have my personal mentor who's going to train me on my public speaking skills. So that is how I learn English. And I don't read a lot of books, but I love reading Harry Potter series alone because I'm more put into fiction movies, and I watch a lot of movies. That is going to help you to learn English. Why did you choose the name First Step for your channel? Okay, I should have mentioned this, but I didn't. See, it's a unique name. Okay, for me, I think that taking the first step is very important. As I mentioned, I said a story in the beginning. I hope you remember that. It's not about thinking to take that step. It is about taking that step with confidence, courage. Okay, and as situation was also there, I named it as the first step. I got amazing mantras, mottos for the first step. So the main motto was like, when people watch my videos, I want them to get inspired by my videos and take that first step of their life. You get it? One sec. I have a dream to become a CA, ma'am. Then what kind of steps should I follow? See, just follow what your mind says. As I said, you can concentrate on so and so studies. Being a CA is like very, very important. It's not very easy. So just focus on your dream, try to make it a reality, and follow what your mind says, and follow your path of happiness. Because end of the day, if you're being forced to be a CA, or if if someone asked to be a CA and you are doing it for them, it's not about that. End of the day, you should be happy on it. So I would just say that, how many were you discouraged by anyone before starting? Yeah, I said right, I was discouraged before. A lot of people did. Who's your inspiration? I have a lot of inspiration here. I can't just say one. All of these children are my inspiration. Nature itself is my
Who is the more inspiration?
Sujit Kumar sir, because that's something, and Nirmala ma'am, my dad himself, because since day one he is the one who is being supporting me, and my mom, my sister, my family, everybody. There's some unique, you know. One second, could you know one? How many stories did you learn? See, I was my dad. He's a psychologist. He trains children. So, being his daughter, when I'm going to attend a lot of sessions, I learn a lot of knowledge, and I myself want to become a psychologist as well. As I'm a speaker, a public speaker, an inspirational content creator, I just learn a lot from the web as well as from the nature, from the, yeah. I could not believe, how do you manage education? I think that question was already asked. What is your most favorite thing to do, that you do today, or everything that you do? I am an artist. I'm sorry that I forgot to mention, I love doing arts, and it is the only thing which I've been continuing since 2 years old. Yeah, I love doing arts. Did you ever think of giving up? If yes, yeah. At some point, I thought of giving up. As when I started negative comments, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to take this up anymore," because you don't even know the people who's going to criticize you. Being a child, only 12 years old, how am I going to take that up? I was beyond exhausted at some point, and my thoughts on that is like, at some point you are going to be put into some hard situation, being in social media influencer, being a YouTuber and stuff. But then, as I said, just do what your mind says. Because when I do interview children, I find some sort of happiness which drives me crazy to it. So I find that it's going to be helpful for me. Just as I said, there are many other quotes. I have family, friends to help me, support me, go through that hard times. So that is it.
What was the role of your peers in your journey?
I'm sorry, could you come again?
What was the role of your peers in your journey?
I didn't get you properly.
What was the role of your friends in your journey? Like your classmate, peer group?
Classmates, okay. I mean, they play a very important role. See, like, most of them, when initially I'm telling, when I started, they were like, okay, I hope you don't understand Tamil. They'll be like, that girl, oh really? Is she a YouTuber now? What kind of content does she make? She has 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers. How is that even possible? But then at some point, my friends too realize that, okay, she's my friend. She's doing something great. She's a great inspiration. I have to support her. And yeah, my friends are my biggest support. My family are there. My cousins are there to help me out. So I like to thank all of them here, especially my parents and my dad. Both the same but fine. First step asking, yes, please subscribe. That will really mean a lot to me. I think that's it, probably.
Asni, I have a question.
Yeah, could I have your name?
Srija.
Yeah, Shrija again. Come on.
So before sponsorship, how difficult was it to get financial support to have a startup?
Oh, okay. As I said, every child's initial financial backup is their parents. Even if it's going to be on material stuff, or even if it's going to be on devices like laptop, mobile or stuff, it's going to be their parents only. I got my sponsor recently only. So whenever you're gonna excel, whenever you're gonna move forward, and whenever you're, people find that what the work which he's going doing right now is very inspirational, that is when they realize that we could sponsor her and we could, start helping her out. So I've been in this field for like about 10 months probably right now. I just recently got my sponsor. So it depends on the kind of work you do and what kind of effort you put into it. So you just don't have to worry about that. Initially when you start, you will gonna get your sponsors. One second, I had one important question which I found interesting as well. I am a blogger. Can I know who this is? Can you unmute your mic and talk? It's a very interesting question. I am a blogger trying to bring a change in this world. I have been working on it for years. Could I know what should I follow? Uh, follow. One second, people. What should I follow to keep my passion mind? Okay. So, it first depends on the kind of content you make. Is it going to be inspirational? Is it going to be funny or something? I would just say, being on social media, especially during pandemic, the screen time has increased. You have to first take on to the people on what they expect from you, and just start behaving accordingly. And that is the best tip which I would like to give, because initially I started getting suggestions from the viewers, and they thought that it would be better if you could make content like this and that. So, just post the content what they expect from you, what they would, what do you think that would go viral and stuff. That will be best. When did you think for the first step, and how did you get an idea for the first step? I think I've mentioned this already. I started interviewing children for Father's Day. Then I wanted to continue interviewing. I felt very happy, and my parents also suggested. So I continued, and the first step name, Howard was born. I too said that. I think I don't have much great content. See, content making, it is difficult, okay, but just ensure that you do what people expect from you, and you just have to be unique with your own content. See, mine is like, I interview children, and my motto is to inspire children. Something unique, right? Okay, I'm not supposed to say it by myself, but just for now, I'm saying it. But just make sure that your own content is unique, and you don't have to copy someone else's content. It's not exactly copying, but you can have the idea, but have your own thoughts and your own mindset to it. Yeah, I guess I think I'm done. Anybody else? One last question I could go for. And I don't think there's any question in the live, right, Abhi? Admin,
Ma'am,
could you tell me? Yeah.
ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Ma'am,
Hi,
are you on
hi,
mute? Rama, ma'am. We're
Principal
not
ma'am,
able to hear.
we are
Yes, ma'am.
not we are
hi.
not audible, ma'am.
Okay. Am I
Yes,
audible now?
Yes, yes,
yes,
yes,
yes.
ma'am.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Rama ma'am, first of all, for giving me this opportunity.
You have done a wonderful job, Ma. Quite motivating. I'm
Thank
sure you'll be successful in your, ambitions and the goals that you want to really achieve ahead. And it was
Thank
really
you.
interesting. I just wanted you to give a few tips to some of our children here, especially for whom I gave this year the opportunity to get the newsletter of the school. Okay.
Okay.
The ones who interacted, the Srinidhi and Shrija are all doing the newsletter job of. So can you give them some
Okay.
nice steps how they can be active and take the opportunity and take it forward?
Okay. So, as I said, I am a reporter for Brain Feed and Hindu. The kind of articles which I write is, I interview children on YouTube, right? The same thing is written down as questions and answers, is being posted on, it's being printed as a newspaper and it's being said. So, for me, it is my own content. And can I know on what kind of content you write on?
Reflections. A newsletter consists of a combination where they write a bit about the activities of the school, where they have some pages to open up and what all they like, just like any other school you would see, and then the gallery page, which has a lot of things they do at school. It
Okay.
gives some space for open up, some space for highlighting what's about in the school and all. So I
Okay.
give them very much freedom to come up with the best creatives.
Okay. So, I would say, see, I'm not a very big expert, but from the things which I have learned, when people start reading it, the main thing is going to be the headline. So that should be very catchy, and the first two lines or the first four few lines which they are going to read, it should be the most important, which is going to make them realize that this is a very good content, I should keep reading. So as you see, when I started, I said a story which is going to explain the whole content, I mean the whole body of my content. Okay, so the first few lines should be very catchy, and you'll have to have a very good summary and a conclusion at the end, and a message or something. As I am my content is going to be more of inspirational and stuff. I have a message at the last. So if so, you could have, if you're going to uh, write about the articles and stuff, I mean, write about the activities which is going to be done in the school. You can write like, probably something not exactly this event was held in my school. Instead of that, you can write, this event had happened in my school, it was amazing, this is how it had happened. More detail, instead of just making it a 2-line answer, you could make it as a 5-line answer and score good marks, right? Teachers used to say. That is what I have been following so far. I'm sorry if I'm being confusing, but I hope you've got what I've said.
No, you are not. You have conveyed it,
Okay.
honestly. You conveyed it. Very good. May I now request any of the parents to express their views about this, ma'am?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I would definitely have like to have some feedbacks.
Yes.
Before that, just give
May
me
I
one.
request any of the parents to
Yeah,
express their views and thoughts
yeah,
about this session?
parents mainly.
Mm.
Yeah, any parents or even the teachers, I request you have any suggestions or feedbacks for me.
Yes. Nagalakshmi, madam. Yeah. Ma'am, please unmute. You're not.
Yeah,
Sorry. I would say thank you, Hasini. You were really great. I think our children have learned a lot from you. I must say a lot from you, really. The way you have carried out the seminar is really wonderful.
thank you.
And your expressions, your, the words, whatever you have used, your vocabulary, I think everything was so beautiful. And you conducted it smoothly.
Thank
That
you.
was very nice. And I think some of the things might be helpful for our children too. And they would have taken away something from here. Yes? Yes, children? If yes, then thumbs up, please.
Yeah, but that is what I'm here for. That is my motto as well, to inspire children.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
happy.
yeah. So many thumbs up. So I think your purpose of the seminar is really fulfilled, right?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay. That's it, Ma. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Nagalakshmi, madam. And from my
Just
Hasini?
side,
one
Hasini,
second.
is there
Yeah,
anybody just wanted to speak?
yeah.
I
Priyadarshini,
could
I
hear the
guess you've
voice.
been
Yes.
asking me as you didn't even answer some question. So I request you to put that question again, because I'm not sure where you asked the question. And my age is, I'm gonna turn 13. See, I'm gonna, I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn 13 by end of this July. Yeah, but I'm still 12. So you could take it as either
Okay.
12 or 13. But I'm eighth. I'm in eighth grade.
Yeah, Sahasra. She
When
has,
did you
I
put that?
guess we've got this.
Yeah, I've already got this. Priyadarshini, am I spelling your name right? I don't know. You've been asking me
Yeah,
something
Priyadarshini.
very long.
Was there any question from you, Priyadarshini? Or would you like to express your view? Okay.
I guess not. And Shrija,
Okay.
one good question.
Hmm?
I don't see, as the screen time has increased, you've asked, right? As
Okay.
screen time, I think Shrija has asked a question back then. I didn't answer it, so I'll just answer. As the screen time has increased, especially during COVID time and something, everything is online. I think it's best if you could make use of it right now, as it's gonna just reach out to more people. So that is also an idea for me to start my YouTube channel, especially during pandemic. So yeah, I mean, social media, I wouldn't think it is like very important, but it could help you in some way for reaching out to new people. When is your birthday? 20 July
Mine is on
2008.
the 31st of July.
Oh, great. Yeah, I think I'm mostly on anyone else. Last question. Thank you. Okay. And all the best for the writing committee as well. And hope to read your articles as well. All the best.
Yeah. Okay, Hasini, from my side, I'm Suvarchila. Happy to see you today. And the way you have spoken was extremely good and awesome. And I liked the confidence. See, you might have prepared with what you exactly have to convey to the people, but you might have not expected the questions which will be darted at you, right? So, but the way
Yes.
you have handled the whole things, I really appreciate you, and you go far and they take leaps and bounds in your progress.
Hasini,
I would love to listen to your
Thank you. Thank you.
Hasini,
sayings
I
and
have a
stuff.
question from you.
Okay, Priyadarshini, you
I
still
have
want to
Thank
do it?
you so much.
Yeah.
Hasini.
Just before we go to
Yeah.
the vote of thanks, I request Priyadarshini to express her question, please.
When you came interest in art,
Okay. See, arts is something which is being built up in me. My mom is an artist. My brother, everybody is like, my mom. It's a gene for me, and art is the only thing which I've been continuing since I was young. See, I told you right. I used to leave every class except for arts. I've been doing it since I was 2, and I hold 2 to 3 graduations in arts. So art is like another passion for me.
Thank you so much, Hasini, once again. Okay, children, you have taken lot of inputs. See, always teachers speak to you all. And of course, you draw some points, but she's of your age, and she has given excellent and undertaken the seminar, and you must really take up something and which to take it further in your life. Okay, that I expected from our children. Thank you, Asini, and I request Sanchali to extend our word of thanks.
The greatest achievers are those who are old enough to be wise and young enough to believe that they can change the world. On behalf of Unicent and all the Unicentians, I take this pleasure to thank you for this wonderful session. Hasini, you have done a great job at a young age by interviewing the young achievers and inspiring the children. We appreciate you for all that you have done in the fields of journalism, podcasting, and public speaking. You have been successful in inspiring and motivating all the Unicentians by your talk. Thank you for spending your valuable time with all of us and inspiring us with your journey. All the best for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful, and I especially thank the school and Rama ma'am for the opportunity, and being a Sunday, all of you have joined. Thank you. Bye. I guess we're done, probably.
Yeah. Thank you, Hasini.
Thank you.